All right, this is the third week of this little project of mine that I wanted to show you guys in building this small account. I want to show you what my plan is for this week and the weeks that are coming, if the market wants to participate. Basically, I already took a couple trades this week, so I'll show you what these trades were, and we'll take it from there. But first, I want to show you the rationale behind this trade, and I've been watching this for the past couple of weeks since the beginning of this little account building. If we look at this type of pattern is it's an overshoot pattern, and what I think is going to happen here is if we keep seeing weakness and the price gets back on inside of here, it's likely that we will see a some type of reversion to the mean, and we'll be able to bounce off of this level over here. So that's my goal. I think that the stock market is very is prone to weakness right now, and I think it's very likely that the Fed is going to go back to printing money in this winter. So my thesis is that they're going to start printing money again, and then the dollar might lose some value next to in comparison to other pairs. So I'm going to try to play that. I'm not sure if they're going to do it or not, but from the chart over here, I have a very, very aggressive exponential move to the upside. So my thesis from last week was to start to short this, because I was seeing some patterns like a double top pattern, but it hasn't really closed below it. But right now I'm short on this pair, on the US yen, I mean. So the US yen looks like this. So let's look at the weekly. It's a very exponential move. If you haven't looked at my I have a video on triple screen analysis, and I recommend that you watch this to understand what I do. Basically, I go on several time frames, higher time frames, and then I try to time my entries on smaller time frames. And this is exactly an example of that, but also in relationship with other crosses. But right now I'm playing the US dollar, and I use the USD yen because it is the one that was the most aggressive to the top, so the most susceptible to a reversion to the mean. So that's basically this this trade over here. So let me open up my broker account and show you what I did. So first things first, the first trade that I took this week was on the pound. I went long over here after an accumulation, and I got out after a quick burst. It was a quick scalp. I think I made $5 or $6, and I'll show that in the end of week recap. I'll show exactly when I entered and when I got out, but this is fresh in my mind. The other trade that I did is I shorted the USD yen. So what we're seeing here in my open positions here, I have so open at 146.82, so around here. So I shorted there, and I just reshorted again. I think these lows are gonna break. Right now we're gonna come near this bed of support over here, and I think it's gonna break down very, very soon. So we'll see how that goes, and I think that this trade might be a good candidate for reaching probably this trend line. So we'll see. A more conservative move would be here. So this is the in the meantime, I think it's gonna come over here, and I'll have to reevaluate. But I think this is a potential support line eventually. So that's my play. I'm basically playing against the US dollar with the USD yen. But the other trade that I took is here. Let me go on a 4-hour chart. So what I'm seeing here is a head and shoulder pattern. And what happened here is we broke, there was a small accumulation in the form of a pennant, and we broke that, and this little test here, this wick, got tested and rejected. So I just went short on that one, as you can see over here, 134.23. 134.23. So right here, I just entered. So we'll see about that. So as far as targets, the first one that I see is over here. The second potential one, let me remove this. Second potential target would be to play the pattern as it is intended to, which is to take the measurement from the head. Let's clone this and then connect it to this. And this ends up very near this support over here. So I think this is a very good zone to take profits. This zone over there. So right there is going to be a good one. If I go on the daily, the other one that I traced is right here. Oh, I already did that. So is this zone here. There's a big zone and the regression is over there. So it's very likely that it's going to come play in this zone from here. So that's the play on this one. It's another play against the US dollar, basically. So so these are my two plays for now. The other one I'm really looking at is this one here, USD, the New Zealand yen, but it's showing too much strength right now. But I'm looking at this resistance line over here. I want to see if we're going to break that or not. Because to me, this looks like a wedge. So if ever it gets penetrated to the downside, I'm probably going to short heavily. Right now, I'm kind of watching it because I'm not sure if this is a good sign that it's doing this. Because these V-shaped formations, what often happens is they start going sideways for a while and then they keep going after. So I'm very like this, V-shape and then along. So you can play this, keep shorting the top side, and then you can go long if you want, but I wouldn't in this case. But keep going short, covering, going short, covering, and stuff like that. But I haven't decided if I'm going to trade this formation yet because it has spent a lot of time here on top of my pattern that I usually trade. So usually I would have liked to see rejection here and coming down, and I would have shorted again. And that's what I usually do. Right now it's acting a bit weird compared to what it usually does. So I'm not playing that. So these are my plans so far this week. All right, this is week 3 on Thursday. So what I did here is I shorted the New Zealand yen in this zone here where we had, let me draw the shape. We had this shape, so I shorted the break over here of this support, and also on this pattern what I was seeing is that we had a zone of resistance over here, and I decided that this was a good point to look for a short. So at first I almost shorted this, but for some reason I decided not to. Maybe because I've added a position in the USD Canadian and the USD yen already, so I had a lot of exposure. But I had originally traced these lines, and when I saw the break, I couldn't resist, so I shorted, and then I got out right away. So my entry was at 85.58, and I closed it at 84.94. So 84.94 is around here. So a really good trade. I was expecting some type of retracement because right now the equity just flew. Because what happened here is I had identified this overshoot pattern where there was a collection of resistances over here that creating this trend line, and then an overshoot with exponentiality. And this is why I decided to start a shorting campaign. And at first what I noticed is that there was like a double top over here with these two highs, but I wasn't sure. I wanted to for this to keep going, but it didn't. So eventually what happened is that as I was trading the US yen, as I was identifying that this one was the best candidate for trading against the US dollar with this size of an account, then I got stopped out a couple times, and now what I'm seeing is that this double top that I had seen that got like this would have been the neckline. The neckline got broken, but then it got rejected. So now it transformed into a Wyckoff distribution pattern type 2, where the high of the third wave is lower than the middle wave. So normally in the Wyckoff type 1, it looks like this, where the high, it takes out the highs and then reverses aggressively inside. But in this case, it was so weak that it wasn't able to do that. So I shorted again in this zone, and I shorted, if we look now at my open positions, so I have two lots, two micro mini lots. So I got 441 pips here, 288 there. So the account flew to 338. Earlier it was more than that. It was like 360, I think. So I closed down this trade here just to have the retracement that is inevitably gonna come now. Not to affect too much the account, but the thing is, if we look at the Canadian dollar now, I really want to keep this position, because here we have a head and shoulder reversal pattern. So as I'm seeing this, like I shorted the here and this zone, and it retraced against me. And then I shorted again over here because I was convinced that this was just a test of this now resistance. So I decided to add another lot. So right now I'm short. I understand that it's going to retrace a bit, but I don't think this is a time to liquidate this at all. So let's look at the supports and resistances. I already had traced how I wanted to get out of this, because this is the target that I should set. So let's clone this line and bring it to here. And this normally would be the target, but there are other. There's a support over here, which is going to play an important role in the future, I'm sure. And there's another one here, which is a bit accelerated, which incidentally matches this target perfectly. So I think that this zone over here is going to be where I need to take out some money, take some money off the table on USD Canadian. So right now I have 3 lots, 3 micro mini lots, and I just need to wait here, so there's nothing to do. And on the US yen, I think that this break is not over. It's going to retrace a bit here to test back this zone. Let me go on the 4-hour. So this was the bed of support that I was seeing earlier, and I felt that if it was going to go here through here, then there's another one here. Oops. So we're in that zone. From here, it's possible it's going to go all the way there before continuing, but I don't think it's a good time for me to get out right now. I need to, I could have taken some profits here, but at the same time, when I was analyzing this, I thought that my first target should be here. So instead of getting out and trying to get back in, what I'm going to try to do now is, if I can find an opportunity, if it retraces quite a bit and I see that it's starting to turn around, I might consider pyramiding into my position and again, and protecting the entries of my other positions, and perhaps shorting some more. And then my first point of liquidation will be this support, this blue line over there. And for the next to consider would be around here. So that's a long drop, if ever it comes to that. But yeah, I think that this is the yeah, this is too steep. So yeah, this is the these are my two targets, I would say. Obviously, there's going to be support here in this zone and here. I say gonna be, but it's not. There's no certainty, but these have acted as supports in the past. So these are the areas that I'm working with here. But I'm so glad that I caught this on tape, because I think it's important to make a series of videos where I explain, where I put everything together that's on my channel. Like in this, you see multiple time frame analysis, you see reversal patterns, we see a Y-curve, we see a head and shoulder pattern on these different head and shoulder on the US Canadian, on the US yen. But I'm not trading this individually. Like, I'm looking at the US dollar in general, and then I figure out which ones are good candidates for a shorting campaign. And I'm filming the whole pyramiding thing. So if you want to learn, I think that this is the ideal way to do it, to open a very small account and to just start looking at longer time frames and learn to manage your emotions, basically. Because you see, the first week I made like maybe 4 or 5%, I think, and then the second week maybe like 2%. But if you add 2% a week for a year, you double your account. And right now I just did around 40%, I would say, this week. So you just need to play defensively, add a couple percent a week, and then go for the home run once in a while. Well, whenever you can. But what's important, I think, in trading in Forex is being pinpoint accurate for your entries and learning to pyramid when you're right. Because if you go for the jugular whenever things are really turning in your favor, you can make a lot of money quickly. And but you need to be patient in order to find these opportunities and to let them reveal themselves to you. Because if you force things, you're going to lose money, that's for sure. So right now I've got good positions, I'm in a good spot, so I'm just gonna wait out to see if I can find other shorting opportunities, but I don't want to jump the gun either. You know, this is a small account. I'm already pretty aggressively leveraged for a small account like that. So now I think it's gonna test, but I don't want to get out, so I'll keep you updated. All right, so I'm glad I didn't get out of this. This is Friday on week 3. Basically, price just went right through this previous support, and it basically retraced a little bit. I didn't get out. Good thing that I didn't, but it went all the way down. Now, because it's Friday and it's 11 o'clock, I liquidated some positions, and my hope is that it's going to, we're going to see some type of retracement next week, early next week, so I can short again, because we haven't reached my first target yet, which is this trend line over here. And if it goes through, then it might go all the way here. But if we look at the US dollar, basically yesterday there were some positive CPI numbers, and the stock market rallied for a while. I think it's going to be temporary, but we'll see. And basically what happened here is that we broke down. It was an overshoot, like I was mentioning, for a couple of weeks now. And I was able to short that thing when I noticed this pattern over here. So I shorted here. I shorted the US Canadian as well over here because of the head and shoulder. So I shorted the break, and then I shorted when it retraced over here. I shorted some more, and I got out, and then a couple of positions today I'll show you on the account. And I tried to short again, but then I was like, yeah, it's Friday, you might as well just get out flat. So so the trades for today are over here. So I made $80 on a $300 account, which is pretty good. So I liquidated 1 lot of the US yen, 3 lots of the, well, 2 lots of the USD Canadian, but then this is the flat trade I was talking about. I just changed my mind because it was Friday, so I figured I want to keep some of that profits to run the account up a little bit. And then next week, I'll continue my campaign on shorting the US dollar, basically. One thing to mention is that the weakest was this one here, but I didn't find a tradable pattern. The only pattern that was noticeable was this megaphone, like this. But these patterns are difficult to trade and difficult to spot when you're in the action. The way I usually trade those is I trace a regression and I short the middle of the range. But frankly, I didn't see this one coming. I was focused on the on US yen and US Canadian because I saw some obvious patterns, and the US CHF wasn't as obvious to me when I was trading it, so I didn't do anything on it. But this one was very weak. So I'll keep an eye on this one for next week because as you can see here, this is there are 2 trend lines, so this zone would be the target. So if ever there was an aggressive retracement, I could short this again. But yeah, I'm not doing anything on this yet. So basically what happened here was this was a bounce opportunity. So there were 2 highs here connecting to make this trend line, and price was getting rejected over there. I should have seen this, but I didn't, so yeah, it's okay. I was already short the hell out of the US dollar, but this was a great opportunity as well. What else? Yeah, so the pound has been going up, but I didn't see any obvious patterns aside from an overshoot like this, but because I was already leveraging the US dollar quite a bit, I didn't act on it. But there's a good chance that this is a regression play as well. So let me just trace that. So yeah, this would be an opportunity to get long next week. Right now it's after a big white candle, so I don't invest and uh, I don't trade like that. I just wait for some type of reaction. So I'll wait. New Zealand USD. So right now it's at this trend line, so it's a bit sketchy. If I wanted to get in on a long on this, I would wait for price to kind of get in this zone over here. So that would be my where I would get in, but right now it's way up in this zone here, so I don't think this is a play I want to take. So that's kind of the week. So right now I'm still I have a position still open, one lot on US yen, which is sporting a nice $55 profit. So I ran up the account pretty good so far. It's at 393 from 228, I think, 227 or something like that. A couple of few trades this week, and we'll see how next week goes. So I'll just I'll get the reports. I don't want to show my data, my personal data, but I'll show you what trades I did this week. All right, so these are the trades from the 6th of November until the 11th, which is today. The closed position are over here, so there were 6 positions, one flat trade, and a couple of wins for a net P&L of $87. And I still have an open position, but I don't count that but this is what I'm starting next week with, or more or less. So next week the plan is to short again the US yen. I'm gonna wait probably a day or two, maybe even, I don't know. We'll see how the price action behaves. And I'll try to establish some shorts. I'll take a look at the US CHF as well, because this one looks very weak as a pair, and we'll see how it goes. So that's week number 3.